tell us who you are, what's your role in all of this madness?
So I am Eilís Lavelle and I play the harp. I'm from County Monaghan, and my role is I'm playing music from the archive, picked from the archive at a concert at Patrick Cavan Centre.
So the concert, we said, is no earthly estate, and you guys yourself, Jerry and Neil, have been tasked with sort of coming up with local sort of gems based around the oral tradition to put together in a concert. You did spend some time in the archive in Gilars-Vicarla. How was that?
It was fabulous. I found some amazing music, and I had great fun going through the boxes of stuff. And there's everything you could want if you're looking for music. So for me, I was looking for manuscripts, CDs. I went through some of Sean Boyle's stuff, and he has a lot of really interesting stuff for me personally. He had a lot of the Bunting. He had a great interest in Edward Bunting and his collections, and he's a lot of talks that he gave written out, and leaflets and the publications and notes and stuff like that to do with Bunting. Then there's boxes of CDs, manuscripts, other publications belonging to people. So it was really fabulous. I had a great time.
And you yourself, Eilís, are a very well known harpist all over the country and further afield again. But is the idea of being an aureole musician something that you carry with you, or do you just see yourself as a person who comes from here but you play Irish music, or is the aureole kind of identity important to you, or is it just something that you carry generally?
That's an interesting question. I've never really labelled myself as an aureole player, but I think I always try and play something from where I'm from if I'm performing anywhere. So especially with the Edward Bunting stuff, because I've studied it, a lot of the time I'll try and get something within or from the collection that was collected in Monaghan, or collected from a Monaghan player, or collected from Oriel. There's usually a slant, so I would always try to play some kind of Oriel music. It mightn't be the full programme, but I think I'm probably an Oriel musician.
But even on the topic of the Bunting collection, like the Bunting collection is known far and wide as quite a prolific and quite important collection of music. And through your studies of it, have you found that there's actually a lot of connections to this region through the Bunting collection?
There's more than people think. Right. Like even in the publications, we're playing some of the music tomorrow. Of course I picked it. We're playing some of the music at the concert, and there's music from Patrick Byrne, who's a harp player from Marracloon, just outside Carton Cross in Monaghan. He collected stuff, music and sometimes songs, or like the melody of songs from people in Dundalk. So there's those kind of things that you wouldn't find in the publications, but you can find that in the unpublished material. And then Edward Bunting was from Armagh, so there's other connections with Armagh, and he'll always try and kind of, not always try, but there are tunes associated with Armagh. And there's also the Jacksons, which were the pipers to the Rossmores. So Jackson's Morning Brush, those kind of tunes, they're all in the collection. And so there's different ways of linking the tunes to Oriel, but it might not specifically say from a certain area or from a place in the Oriel region.
And what struck your interest with Bunting in particular?
The harp.
Of course.
No, my first introduction actually to Edward Bunting was for my 18th birthday. My godfather gave me the 3 publications, and then we had to study them for the Leaving Cert as well. But yeah, once I got the 3 publications, I was like, what is this? And like, I didn't really know. And then when I went to Queen's for my masters, that was when I actually got to see the unpublished material, and that's where my love of manuscripts and sitting in a library came from.
Amazing. So for this concert, No Earthly Estate, you've teamed up with Jerry and Nuala, but what has your relationship been with them up until now?
So I've performed with Jerry on and off for years. We've been out to Sweden and we've played a few concerts in Ireland. And this is actually my first concert with Nuala, so it's the first time kind of meeting as a trio and performing and putting music together and songs with Nuala. So.
And has that been a seamless process, or have you had to do a bit of work to find where you both kind of sit musically, or natural thing coming together?
It was quite natural, I think. She might have said something different.
No, she did not, don't worry.
No, I felt it was very natural. Once we found our keys, for her singing, and it was pretty seamless, yeah. Mm-hmm. Thank God.
And do you have a certain approach for accompanying songs, or do you sort of treat everything differently?
I think I try to treat everything differently. I think you don't want to overpower the singer. So the singer is you're accompanying them. So, but it depends on the song as well.
Yeah. And for the concert, through the research, is there any particular pieces you are looking forward to, or did you discover anything through your time in Atma that you weren't maybe expecting to find? That
one of the manuscripts that I was looking at when I was in the archive was Lizzie O'Brien's manuscript, and she has some gorgeous tunes. There's some gorgeous tunes notated in it, but there was 2 tunes in it. I was looking at them, kind of singing them in my head, and I knew them, but I had a completely different tune. So the 2 nursery rhymes, but there's no link to being a nursery rhyme in the manuscript or the names. So one is Humpty Dumpty and the other is Teddy Bear's Picnic. So I'm actually really looking forward to playing them because there's something silly and fun and innocent about it, you know. But in the manuscript, if you were reading it and you couldn't kind of sing to yourself or figure out what the tune was, you wouldn't know.
Brilliant.